The words of the great rapper Offset. I just woke up in a palace. I walked around. I'm in Dallas. Now, we are in University Park, but we're continuing Cities Week here at 360 Sports, talking about all things Dallas sports. I'm your host, Brendan Kern, joined by Brady Welsh, Caden Gill, and Fernando Martinez. And we're going to jump straight into the headlines because we got a lot of teams to cover. We're going to start with the biggest team in Dallas, arguably the biggest team in American sports. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Now, while they are America's team, they have been struggling the past couple seasons to find the playoff success that they had in years past. What do they need to do to get back to their peak form?
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly a pivotal offseason ahead for Dallas. First thing they got to take care of is make a decision on George Pickens. You've got a guy who was top 3 in about every receiving statistic this past NFL season. And that's probably going to command over $30 million a year, just the way the wide receiver market is right now. So you got to make a decision. Do you want to pair him up with CeeDee Lamb for the foreseeable future? Or do you maybe fish for a late first-round pick, early second-round pick from a team that really needs some offensive help? I don't see why you get worse on purpose, so I would take care of George Pickens. And then the Christian Parker hire from the Philadelphia Eagles presents this defense that was quite literally one of the most historically bad defenses. People love to joke like, oh, they're really bad. Literally a bottom 5 by expected points added, like an advanced NFL analytic, literally bottom 5 all time in the history of the NFL. Do you know how hard that is to do? Just horrible. But Christian Parker just had his opening press conference today, actually in Dallas at the Star. He gives me hope that defense definitely has opportunity to kind of go from a worst to maybe not first, but definitely at least top 16 defense. Maybe, that's achievable. 2 first-round picks, 12th overall pick, 20th overall pick, and then some cap space to move around. So Dallas has the opportunity. They have the resources, and it'll be exciting to see what they can do with that.
I want to see what Jerry Jones can do because, I mean, you said it yourself, this is a very pivotal offseason. We have a lot of money. We have 2 first-rounders. We got a good defensive coordinator. Your franchise tagging for George Pickens. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he earned himself a contract, but, I mean, playing under a franchise tag, it motivates you to get more money, earn a bigger contract. So, but also, we need to get better in the postseason. We all know that's been the curse. I mean, we haven't made a conference championship since 1995, if I'm not wrong. Like, we are the only team who hasn't made
the only team in the NFC since then to not make an NFC championship. Yeah.
It's like so bad. I mean, also, like, we need to be better on defense. Also, our offense just has to be the same, but the most important thing is our defense.
Yeah.
Yep, and defense wins championships, and you're not winning a championship anytime soon with this defense. They allowed the most points in the NFL last year, coupled with an offense that led the NFC East in points by almost 100. You got to make the playoffs with an offense centered around Dak Prescott, who had an MVP-type season last year. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb were fantastic. I mean, you just have to make the playoffs with that sort of offense. But I do really like the addition of Christian Parker for the Cowboys and working under Vic Fangio, getting some of that Philly defense into Dallas. I like that for the future.
Yeah, and also I do think too that I forgot my train of thought.
I mean, we've seen it with the last couple Super Bowl champions, the Eagles, the Seahawks. They weren't necessarily world beaters on offense, but they were incredibly well-rounded. They were led by a good defense. And like you said, this Cowboys defense has been not just bad, but really, really bad the last couple seasons. So building that up is crucial to bring them back to a Super Bowl kind of standard, which is what Dallas should be playing at. Moving on to another team in the city that I would also say is underperforming, that's the Dallas Mavericks. You go from having Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving making an NBA Finals to having Cooper Flag. So what is the Mavericks' kind of direction from where they are right now?
I just don't know what they're doing. I mean, they fired Nico Harrison because they realized they screwed up and they had to cover it up and they had to get rid of Anthony Davis. They had to do like so many changes to the franchise. But like this is a mess for them. It's gone all wrong for them. Kyrie Irving, we don't get him back till next year. But I mean, Cooper Flag is really performing. That's something Mavericks fans can like look up to. When he gets Kyrie Irving back next year, maybe They are a playoff team, but they got to get better on defense. They got to get better at scoring. But it's not looking good. But if they can get the right pieces and Kyrie Irving looks like the Kyrie Irving that we know, they do have a good chance of making playoffs next year or maybe in 2 years.
Honestly, I think that while it was a horrendous mistake that cannot be undone, we didn't get to see the full potential of kind of the post-Luka vision. Did it make sense? No, but it happened. And Kyrie and AD played 25 minutes together in Dallas.
Yeah.
The entire time. That's not even a game. So it makes me sad that you have that reality where you didn't get to see Kyrie and AD play together, and you also barely got to see Kyrie and Luka play together. They didn't get that full run it back after they lost to the Celtics in the finals because Nico Harrison just split it up for whatever the reason might have been. So now you're simply left with, like you said, you just have to build around Cooper Flag. The AD trade gives you not the trade that brought him here, the trade that sent him packing after not even a season. That gives you a ton of financial flexibility, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it is a horrible free agent class outside of one name. All I'm saying, Kyrie Irving is going to call up his buddy from Cleveland back in the day. LeBron, we got a spot for you, bro. I'm just saying it could if the Mavs tank their way to a top 5 pick, or rather not tank, they finish with a top 5 pick.
They'll probably end up just playing that way.
They
Yeah.
just lose some games and they finish with a top 5 pick. You have a ton of capital, and you have a LeBron James who's a free agent. So
Yeah, but LeBron, let's be
just
honest, let's be
saying.
realistic. He's not going to the Mavericks. If anything, he would go back to Cleveland. That's what I think would happen.
Here, LeBron James, you are a Dallas Maverick.
Yeah, there's no way LeBron James is a Dallas Maverick. But but I think the Mavs need to do the complete opposite of that. I think they need to get younger. They're the 4th worst team in the West. They're the 8th oldest team in the NBA coming into the season, and that includes Cooper Flag, who is a teenager. So they definitely need to build around Cooper Flag, get some top 5 picks, and get younger, mainly.
No, you're right, but a
Yeah.
man can dream.
Also, it kind of sucks that we never got to see Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flag, and AD together.
Yeah.
I do think that would have been a really good trio
I know.
together.
Well, that goes back to what you said about you never got to see the vision play out. The vision was a healthy Anthony Davis. So a
Which
bit of an
just
unrealistic vision, if you ask
doesn't
me. But
exist,
next
yeah.
season coming up is going to be the second full season without Luka, and is going to be the second season of Nico Harrison's 2-year plan after trading Luka to become a contender. And at least as of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to come to fruition. But we've been talking a lot of sad stuff about Dallas sports. We're going to go to the highest performing team in the city right now, and that's the Dallas Stars. They're 3rd in the West right now. They have 77 points on the season. Can they make it to the Stanley Cup final after losing in the conference final 3 years in a row?
I don't think so. A team that's been catching my eye a lot this NHL season is the Colorado Avalanche. They've been
hard not to.
dominating. They've been winning at home. They're going to get home field advantage. So they're going to be a dangerous team. There's still the Edmonton Oilers. They still have Connor McDavid. There's just so many good teams in the Western Conference. I just don't see the Stars getting out of the West. Maybe they could make it back to the conference championship series, but I just don't see this team going to the Stanley Cup.
I mean, I honestly like their odds to go to the Cup. I am very suspect of the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, they're currently top in the President's Trophy race, and we all know the President's Trophy curse.
No.
Those teams never do well in the playoffs. And also, I am a Flyers fan. They got crushed by the Flyers. I don't trust any team that gets crushed by the Flyers. But also, you look at the rest of the Western Conference, the Wild are very young and inexperienced. The Pacific is a hot mess.
Yeah.
And then you look in the Eastern Conference, I think their biggest threat, if they want to run it all the way to the Cup final, their biggest threat in the East is probably Tampa, because they did lose to Tampa 4 years ago. But there is a lot of experience on this team. I mean, you got Sagan and Ben, who went to a Cup final before. Jason Robertson, he wasn't there initially, but he was on that team for a couple of games. Mikko Rantanen has a Stanley Cup with the Avalanche, and Miro Heiskanen was still your number 1 D during that run. So Dallas can definitely do it.
Johnston either, the power play demon.
No, you cannot. But yeah, there's still so many guys from that run, and they've shown they're capable of getting to the conference championships. They just need to get over that hump, and I think this is the year to do it.
I will say, right now the NHL is in a break because of the Olympics, so it will be really interesting to see how these teams come back from the Olympic break. I think we're going to learn a lot about these teams when they come back from the break, because we're going to learn who is for real and who is not.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Central is a lot better than the Pacific. I mean, kind of by a long shot. The Stars, they've won 6 straight. If the season were to end right now, they would draw the Avalanche in the second round if everything played out. So we got one guy saying that Stars will take them down. Someone saying the Avalanche will advance. We'll have to wait and see. But the final team we're going to cover specifically, they might not be in Dallas, but Arlington's close enough. The Texas Rangers, they are the last team in the state of Texas to win a Big Four major sports championship. They're kind of in this weird like rebuilding phase, but they also made some good moves in the offseason. They're in a bit of a weird spot. What do you expect from them come the MLB regular season?
I mean, personally, I think I actually enjoy pitching a lot in the MLB. And the Rangers have assembled, honestly, an unrivaled pitching, at least starting pitching rotation, in my opinion. DeGrom, Leiter, Eovaldi, Mackenzie Gore, who they added. They just signed Jordan Montgomery, who's, towards the tail end of his career, but still very good, especially considering the 5th starter in the rotation. That's lethal. And when you can, the Rangers, the problem last year was offense. They couldn't generate bats. They were losing games 2-1 consistently, putting up 1, 2, maybe 3 runs. And like night in, night out, you cannot do that. You cannot expect to win games. So I think I really like the Brandon Nimmo trade, sending you get younger, you kind of replace a whole Adolis Garcia left for Philadelphia in the offseason. So you replace him with Nimmo, you bring a leadoff hitter. So I don't know what to expect from this team, but I know the pitching is going to be really darn good. And the bats honestly couldn't really get worse. So I think that I think the Rangers are truly due for some improvement. A new first-time skipper does worry me a little bit. I think baseball, you can kind of get over that quicker than you can in a major sport like football, where it's very, very schematic and not as individual player based. But honestly, the Rangers, after falling from grace as fast as they did, winning the championship in 2023, I'm not going to complain, obviously, but certainly an interesting trajectory for a team that won 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This World Series feels like it happened a long, long time ago.
It's my freshman year.
That was my sophomore year. But yeah, I mean, like we saw last year, like they had great pitching. It's just the offense wasn't showing up. I mean, they also traded for Merrill Kelly, and it worked well, but just the offense didn't show up. I mean, they were staying competitive in their division, but in the end of the day, they just stumbled down when in the home stretch, and that's why they didn't make the playoffs. But they had the team, it just didn't perform. And I mean, it's all going to come down to the offense. I do think they have good hitters now this year, and again, they still have the pitching, but it's all going to come down to the offense at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the only thing I really like about their offense is the outfield, but you're really depending on improvement from Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter. I really like the addition of Brandon Nimmo. You got a good veteran presence out in center field. But this rotation, man, honestly, the sky's the limit with these guys. You got DeGrom and Eovaldi, 2 pretty much 1A and 1B. Mackenzie Gore was a great trade acquiring him from Washington. Then Jack Leiter, he showed a lot of flashes towards the end of the season. I loved what I saw from him. Sub 3.5 ERA in the last 15 games. Then Kumar Rocker, we've known his stuff since his days at Vanderbilt. He was a top 10 pick twice for a reason. So honestly, sky's the limit for this rotation, but everything else besides the outfield and the rotation is very iffy.
Also, we have to talk a little bit about DeGrom's health. It will be a lot of this will be dependent on his health. I mean, we saw the year they won the World Series, he wasn't healthy, but then there's still been problems with his health. But if he stays healthy, this rotation could be one of the best in baseball.
Yeah, last year he was a monster.
Yeah, and that's also why I like the minor league edition of Jordan Montgomery. I mean, you get him up if DeGrom gets hurt again and he performs like he did a couple years ago. you might have yourselves a solid 6-man rotation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of potential in this team, but also the division is tough. I mean, you got a Seattle team that we saw what they did last year. It doesn't look like they're going to regress. Houston's always just kind of hanging around. The Athletics, I mean, they're up and coming. They made some good signings this offseason. They're a young team. They're kind of a wild card as far as how they're going to perform. It's going to be a very tough division overall to compete in. But like you guys all said, sky is the limit, especially for this pitching rotation. So there might not be a lot of talent per se in Dallas right now, but all time there have been some legends to play in the city. So we're going to go to the board and we're going to go and talk about what we think is the greatest athlete in Dallas sports history. Brady or Caden, we're going to start with you.
This truly was a difficult decision until it wasn't, because there's only one answer. Dirk, 14-time All-Star, Finals MVP, brought Dallas its first ring. And Dirk, I saw something on social media that says his ring is covered in blood, and it really is. It's not an exaggeration. First round, you get the Trailblazers, who were actually good at the time, prime LaMarcus Aldridge, prime Brandon Roy. Then you go on to sweep Shaq and Powell, or Kobe and Powell, rather. And then you go on to play the three-headed monster. Granted, they were still young, but Harden, Russ, and KD in Oklahoma. And then you get to the finals and you beat Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James. That I truly challenge anybody to find any championship run in any of the 4 major sports and compare to that. I don't think you can. He played in Dallas his entire career. There's a reason he has a statue outside of the American Airlines Center. I personally have met him. I got to take a picture with him. So truly an inspiration for kids in Dallas all over. And I would just argue that from a historical and traditional standpoint, Dirk is the greatest DFW athlete ever.
Subtle flex that you got a picture with the Dirk.
I had multiple pictures, actually.
I
so-
remember seeing the statue outside the American Airlines Center.
It's so perfect.
It's really
him,
nice. It's a really
The
nice.
signature fadeaway, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really nice stun statue.
I like the pick. I do think he is one of those legends in Dallas.
Not even just in Dallas, but like probably in the
Ever.
in the sports
Yeah.
history, in all sports history. Brady.
All right. So for my pick, I'm going with a very underappreciated figure, not in just Dallas history, but in NHL history, Mike Modano. This guy made hockey popular in Dallas. I mean, he was an original Dallas star. He played 4 years for the Minnesota North Stars before then. He spent almost his entire 21-year career with the Stars. He captained them to their only Stanley Cup win in franchise history, putting up point per game with a broken wrist the entire 1999 playoffs. This guy is one of the best hockey players of all time, just underappreciated because he played in Dallas, a smaller hockey market in the South, but definitely a very underappreciated guy, Mike Modano.
Stars legend.
No argument from me.
Yeah, no argument. All right. Well, let's go back to the Dallas Cowboys. So my pick is Emmitt Smith. I mean, he's the NFL all-time rushing leader. He's won 3 Super Bowls. He's been an MVP, eight-time Pro Bowler. He transcended the position of a running back. He was the face of the Cowboys in those legendary years when they won Super Bowls. I mean, he was clutch in playoff runs. He always was healthy. He never got hurt. And in these days, in the running back position, we don't see many running backs last for a decade. He did that. In the position like his, I do think he made the position much tougher, and I do think he was that face in the Cowboys dynasty.
Yeah, he kind of embodied what the 90s Cowboys were about, which is just consistently always being there, always being great, and specifically like a downhill running attack that was among the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, I have a new appreciation for Emmitt and Michael Irvin after that Netflix documentary that came out this summer. That was really cool to see kind of the inside look and how not only was he so effective on the field, but from like a leadership standpoint within the locker room, I really I really appreciate Emmitt Smith.
And like I said, like we don't see many running backs make that much of an impact anymore. And Emmitt Smith was the one who made that position really valuable.
So that actually segues perfectly into my pick. Emmitt Smith, he was great, right? He was a very talented running back. But who was the guy that was leading the way for him? Probably the greatest guard in football history. That's Larry Allen. 6'3", 335. This is probably one of the greatest physical athletes that we have seen, not just in football history, in sports history. Go look at what this guy did at the combine. 4.85 40-yard dash at 335 pounds, 43 reps on the bench press. That's 225 pounds, 43 reps. This guy was one of the quickest, strongest offensive linemen in NFL history. 14 seasons, 11-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro. This guy had 13 holding penalties in his career. In 14 seasons. That's less than one per season. That is absolutely unheard of. We'll probably never see that kind of production from the offensive line position again. He is undoubtedly, in my opinion, the greatest left guard to ever play the game and was the catalyst for one of the great dynasties that we've seen in the NFL.
I love that pick.
Anytime I think of Larry Allen, I imagine him in like the early 2000s Pro Bowl in like a Hawaiian button-up, just cranking out like 50 reps on the bench
because all of that
press.
was in his rookie season, and he only got stronger from that. If
Yeah.
you've never seen the guy run, go look up his tackle against New Orleans on an interception. It is the fastest you will ever see a big man move in your entire life. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I love it.
So, and we talked about guys from Dallas that we liked, that we thought were great. But being as popular of a city as Dallas is, there's going to be some players that want to beat anyone wearing a Dallas logo, or maybe were wearing the Dallas apparel, but just weren't that great. So we're going to go around and talk about some of the biggest villains in Dallas sports history.
Okay, I am sorry for ranting about this guy, but I don't like what Jerry Jones has done to the Cowboys since 1995. He's been too involved with the football decisions. He treats it like it's his toy. He gets a lot of criticism. He just loves the spotlight, and I don't know why. I understand you're the owner, but like you are supposed to be making the decisions, and you're not. You're pretending it to be more of a toy than to a team that wants to win. You say you want to win, but you don't pretend. You say you want to win, but it doesn't look like you want to. You pay Ezekiel Elliott too much money when he was already in his end of his prime. You're paying too much money to players. Like, you need to hire a general manager, because it's been proven more time and time that he's just not the guy to get the Cowboys to a Super Bowl again.
Yeah, the funniest thing about Jerry is that he didn't take over being GM like in 1995. It was day one. Literally, Jerry walked into that building and said, I own the team. I'm making all the decisions. If you don't like it, like, catch the next bus home. And like, from a professional standpoint, that is insane. Like, imagine your boss, like, you can't even put it into modern professional workplace terms. But if you own the team, he proved he can do what he wants. And obviously he's had his ups, but it's been nothing but down since then. And I think he's, maybe not he's realizing, but the Jones family is realizing that they need to have a more hands-off approach to football operations.
And he's getting older each day. Like, the older you get, the more bad decisions you make. So,
yeah, I'm going to go stay within the realm of Cowboys here. Aaron Rodgers.
No.
You're watching right now.
Not 2017 again.
I just want to talk, man. Look, I'm not going to do anything. Just don't, check my pockets or anything. Aaron Rodgers has literally ripped my heart out like multiple times to the point of sobbing, tears down the face, like punching pillow, punching walls. The 2016 game in Dallas, that not wild card, it was a divisional round. Dak and Zeke's rookie year. Driving down the field with 13 seconds.
Yeah, it was 13 seconds.
Doing the rollout to Jared Cook on the sideline where he catches it incredible like this, toe drags, kicks the game-winning field goal to eliminate us. I literally have never been more angry in my life, because realistically, I think Dallas runs through Atlanta in the next round, and that would be a Super Bowl appearance. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. Aaron Rodgers, 13 seconds on the clock. Like, that's Mahomes-esque. Obviously that was before Mahomes, but That there's so many moments. There's another game in 2018 where he just
Did the same
it's like
thing.
a back-to-back fade to Devontae Adams in the end zone. The first one got broken up. He did the exact same play the next play, game-winning touchdown. He's just the boogeyman for Cowboys fans, and luckily he's grandpa status now, so don't really have to worry about him. But from 2010 to 2019, Aaron Rodgers by far my most hated NFL player.
Couldn't agree more. In fact, like you really lived my 2017 all over again. I still remember when it all happened. I went to sob the moment he kicked the field goal because I really thought that was the best shot we had to go win a Super Bowl. And I remember, like, I really thought that team had a good shot. And then that guy just always haunted me. Always.
It's like
I was
in the
like,
back of your mind, you kind
Yeah.
of know you can celebrate all you want, but it's like Aaron Rodgers.
He's inevitable.
He is inevitable, especially when it came to NFC teams in the wild card and divisional round. But he is a grandpa, as you said, and he's in the AFC. Don't need to really worry about him anymore.
That's
But
what I
I'm
want
gonna-
you to think.
That
He
is-
sneaks up on you. You don't.
you never
don't
know. We
what-
could
yeah.
have a Super
would
Bowl and
requ-
he sneaks up and
That
just
would
beats.
require the Steelers to actually win a playoff game, which we all know that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm going to go with an oldie, Terrell Owens, original
Yeah.
villain of Dallas. I feel like Terrell Owens is to Dallas what Al Horford is to Philly. He didn't play too well in Dallas and then was just a superstar for the Eagles and the 49ers, especially on the 49ers. Scored a touchdown in Dallas, then ran to midfield, stood on the Cowboys star.
And got decked.
George T.
George T.
Yeah.
But yeah, T.O., just the original Dallas villain. And I'm pretty sure most old heads in Dallas still hate his guts.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, he has that time in San Francisco, the star planting. He goes to Philly, has a 3-touchdown game against Dallas. Then he goes to the Cowboys and a 3-season stretch where he played well, but it ended horribly as far as all the drama that comes with Terrell Owens. I got a couple of guys here that weren't named. Again, not really Dallas, but Texas Rangers, Nelson Cruz, 2011, Game
Oh my
6.
God, what a-
Why are you playing that
Oh.
shallow? Take a good route to the ball, get a little bit of a better jump. And the Rangers have one of the best seasons, arguably in baseball history. That was a really good team, and it's all going to be remembered because David Freese poked one just over the glove of Nelson Cruz.
Yep.
Probably one of the most agonizing losses
Horrible.
in sports history. Also, honorable mention, Gene Steratore, the guy who ruled that Dez did not, in fact, catch it against those Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. That was also a divisional game. Who knows what would have happened had that been?
We would have
I
won.
know what would happen.
We
Aaron
would've won.
Rodgers would have drove down the field and snatched our chain again. I know what would've
Actually,
happened.
you're right on that.
So
I was actually going to say we
saved me some trauma, I guess.
I was just going to say we would have won, but you're right. I just remember Aaron Rodgers would have haunted me.
Well, that's the epitome of like no calls. What is a catch? I mean, it inspired the catch
Yeah,
rule.
it did.
Mhm.
And then I also had Jerry Jones because, for obvious reasons. I mean, there isn't a whole lot.
I'm surprised no one mentioned Nico Harrison.
I thought that was going to be the layup. I have him, obviously. We don't even have to touch on that. I have one more MLB name, Jose Bautista. Yes, got punched in the jaw. Everybody clowns him for that.
But before,
I take you back to Game 5 of the 2015 ALDS. 3-run homer, flips the bat like it's Simone Biles doing it. Like I remember, I kid you not, I was in a Sam's Club shopping with my mom, and there's 5 TVs. I watched that home run on 5 TVs. So traumatic. Obviously, got our lick back with the punch, but that truly hurt.
all right. So to wrap up the show, we're going to go around quick. I want you guys to all give a quick case as to why Dallas is, in fact, the best sports city in America.
It's easy. The spotlight. There's always a spotlight on Dallas. The Cowboys, America's team. The Stars, it's because they're good. The Rangers, it's because, well, they won a World Series 3 years ago. But again, at the end of the day, baseball is very popular in America. So at the end of the day, it will always get a spotlight. And then also at the end of the day, the Mavericks, they still have good players, so they will always have spotlight on them. But at the end of the day, it's mostly because of the Cowboys, because they're America's team.
Yeah, the Mavs have been in a position where they've gone from Dirk to Luka to Cooper Flag all in one chain. So that's a very fortunate position. I personally think Dallas is the best sports city because We show up and we show out for our teams, no matter how bad they are. And I've got some good old statistics for you guys. 2009 was the last year that the Cowboys didn't lead the NFL in home attendance. They clear number one by over 10,000 fans each game. They easily host 90,000 every game. 2002 was the last year the Mavs were outside the top 5 in average home attendance, 800,000 yearly attendance. Stars, 8th highest average attendance this year, 100% capacity rate. And the Rangers, they're kind of the ugly duckling in this, but they're still in that top 10 to 20 range with 2.2 million seasonal attendance. So when you take a population of 1.5 million roughly, and you compare that against the markets like New York, 9 million people, LA, almost 4 million people, it truly is a ridiculous ratio of fan participation and like population. So I think for that reason alone, Dallas is always showing up. We have the best stadiums, prettiest stadiums, and that's why.
All right. Brady, go ahead quick.
Yeah, Dallas is definitely the best Southern sports city. I mean, like you said, Caden, with the population and Fernando with the spotlight on them, I feel like they're the best because they're always good. I feel like all of their teams never go like a huge stretch with being bad. They're always usually competitive. I think the Cowboys will make the playoffs next year, personally. The Stars are a juggernaut this year, and honestly, the Rangers could be something in a couple of years. So while they're in that rebuilding stage, it's not as long as other cities' rebuilding stages.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really argue with that. That is unfortunately all the time that we have. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow for the Philadelphia show and the last of Cities Week here at 360 Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.